So here we have, thank you so much, Regina. Thanks once again, and thanks everybody for the wonderful reflections. Loved them. We have our next teller joining us from Bangalore. We have Sharada Sampathkumar sharing a story which is a mix of folklore, research, handing it over from one person to another, mouth to mouth. Over to you, Sharada.
Thank you so much. Good morning and happy weekend, everyone. So today, let me just begin with something interesting. Are you able to hear this? Hello?
No, Sharada, we can't.
Okay. So,
yes, it's feasible.
So, did you listen to that? Hello?
Yes, Sharada, we
Yes,
listen to
Sharada,
it.
we can very well
Yes.
hear you. Please continue.
Okay. Thank you so much. So today I'm going to take you on a very interesting journey that I found it to be super interesting. So I'm going to take you across on a journey and delve into some sacred key mythological narratives from the sacred landscape of South India. Yes. So we are going to explore these gods called Ayyanars, Karpanda Swami, Munishwaran, Ayyanar Swami, Ayyappan, Sastha, and Dharma Sastha. Yes, let's begin. So, I'm sure all of us, while driving down across the landscape of southern India, which is such a beautiful, looking view. So I'm sure all of us would have driven through these huge, on the NH, you would have seen huge Ayyanar statues, fierce looking figures. So the typical iconography of these are the Ayyanar Swamis or the Munishwaran or the Karpana Swamis have fierce looking features like big popping out eyes, huge mustache, and big face, arms, hands, body, and physical stature. And they have weapons in their hands like the arval or the sickle, the whip, the staff, and swords. So let me begin. So the Ayyanar Swami, if you see, is he was born out of a union between Lord Shiva and Vishnu, who was in Mohini form. Okay. So once what happened, there was, the Trimurtis, right? Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So once what happened, there was a competition, and Shiva asked Brahma and Vishnu to find the beginning and the end of his Shivalinga Rupam. Okay. So what happened? Brahma and Vishnu tried hard. They searched all over the worlds, and Vishnu was very humble and quiet, but Brahma wanted to act smart. So Brahma tried to he lied to Shiva that he had found the starting point of the Shivalingam. And of course, he did not find it. So this angered Shiva, and he cursed Brahma, saying that Brahma will not have temples anywhere in the three lokas. Okay. And also, there is this folklore or a thread that goes that he also killed Brahma. And that was called as the Brahma Hatya Dosha. Okay. So there is a particular thread which says that, story thread which says that he had killed Brahma, and because of that, he was cursed with the Brahma Hatya Dosha. So what happened? Brahma Hatya Dosha means Hatya is killing. Okay. Dosha is a sin committed by someone. Okay. So Brahma Hatya Dosha. Okay. So what happened here? As a result of this Brahma Hatya Dosha, Shiva was cursed. to become a mendicant or a bhikshatana. In Tamil, it is also called as Pichadanar. Okay, so he had to assume the form of a Pichadanar or a Bhikshatana, and he had to roam the three worlds in the form of an Aghori. So he put, as it is a typical form of Shiva, as we all know, he applied the sacred ash all over his body. He was naked and he had to roam around the three worlds like a mendicant. Okay, so at the same time, there was a forest called the Darukavana. So in this Darukavana, what had happened was there were a couple of rishis who because of their severe austerities and penance, they had acquired a lot of powers, and this gave them some arrogance, and they started ruling the entire, the three lokas, okay, or the three worlds. So what happened here? The Trimurtis, Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu, they wanted to teach them a lesson. So as a result of this, Shiva, he was in the form of a Bhikshatana, okay, a mendicant. He went to this Darukavanam, and you know how he taught them a lesson? You know the appearance of Shiva, right? He is a god. So he had an amazing physical looking stature. He was so good looking with a beautiful physical frame, and he was naked. And when what he did was he went to the ashramas of each of these maharishis, and he went for asking for alms. So what happened there? When he went to the ashramas, the wives of these rishis came out offering alms, and there, looking at this brilliant, handsome, good-looking person, they fell into a trance. They went into a trance, and they were mesmerized by his amazing physical stature and looks, that they started following him, singing praises. And at the same time, Vishnu also had taken the avatar of Mohini to assist Shiva. And in this Mohini avatar, he went, not avatar, I would say Rupam, okay, it's not an avatar. So he took the form of Mohini and he accompanied Shiva. And they went as a couple to these ashramas. And the sons of these rishis also were so attracted by the beautiful looks of Mohini, Vishnu in the female form. And during this process, Shiva himself was so mesmerized by the beautiful looks of Mohini that they had a union, and there was a spark or a glow, and this glow was resulted in the birth of Ayyanar, Sasta, Ayyappan, or Dharma Sasta. Yes, this one god has these four names attached to him. So in the South Indian states of Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka, he is called as Ayyanar. While in Keralam, the new name for Kerala, in Keralam, he is addressed to as Sasta, Dharma Sasta, or Ayyappan. And he is referred to as Ayyappan in his, he is in child form. His other name is also called Manikandan. And because he was in this child form, Shiva was a little worried about this. So he tapped his thigh, okay? And there was a spark, and that led to the birth of Karipanna Swami. So Karipanna Swami, as you know him, he was created from a spark created by Lord Shiva, and he was the escort of Manikandan or Swami Ayyappan. Okay, and the story of Ayyappan, you may ask me why I'm jumping from Ayyanar to Ayyappan, because I have to say this because it is part of the story. So Ayyappan was given this role, child form role, in order to slay a demon called Nimishi. Okay, she was creating havoc along the villages near the Pamba river in Keralam. And in order to slay her, Ayyanar was given the form of Ayyappan in his childhood form. And he had this escort called Karipanna Swami. Okay, So let's come back to the story of Ayanar. So what happened? Bhikshatana, that is Shiva, and Mohini, they, both of them, they started pulling these people, the wives and the sons of the Maharishis. And what happened was, these Maharishis got so angry that they started fighting Lord Shiva, and they showed their arrogance. So that was when they flung a snake on Shiva, and they sent tigers to attack Shiva. And we all know the Almighty, isn't it? So because of his powers, he was able to easily defeat these creatures. And that is why today also, if you see, you will see that Shiva sports a snake around his neck, and he wears the tiger skin as his clothing. So now what happened? Sage, Anusuya, who was the wife of sage Atri, informed the rishis that it was none other but Lord Shiva who had come in the form of Bhikshatana and Vishnu in the form of Mohini to mesmerize and teach the rishis a lesson. So when they realized this, they surrendered to the feet of Shiva, and they learned their lesson. Okay, so now that was the story of Ayanar. So this is how Lord Ayanar was created. And usually, if you see, Ayanar is considered, because the Trimurtis are considered to be bigger gods, the Ayanars who were born out of these Swamis, they are called as Siru Devams or Kaval Devams. So if you drive down to villages along the South Indian countryside, you will find these huge statues of Ayanar, Karpanaswamy, and Munishwaran. So Munishwaran is more prevalent in Karnataka. And Ayanar and Karpanaswamy, you can see a lot of their figurines and statues along the South Indian villages, okay, of Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka. So typically their features are, as I told you, very big eyes, popping out eyes, and scary looking, fierce facial features, etc. Okay, so now the name Sasta. So Ayanar also sports the name Sasta or Dharma Sasta. So what is the meaning of Dharma Sasta? Sasta is usually referred to a teacher, okay, a teacher or a leader who guides people. So that is why in the traditional villages of Keralam, he is called as Sasta or Dharma Sasta. So there is this particular village in Nurani, in the village called Nurani. If you see, he is positioned inside a temple along with his consorts Purna and Pushkala. So it is said that because Ayyappan is a bachelor god, he is not seen with his consorts in the Shabarimala temple. But in his grown-up form, that is in the form of Ayanar, Sasta, Dharma Sasta, he is accompanied by his consorts Purna and Pushkala. So another interesting thing about the Karpanaswamy, okay, there are three threads that you can understand about the Karpanaswamy. The first one was that those days in villages, you have these very, very brave warriors, okay? These warriors used to be the guardians of the village, and they used to fight these enemies, evil forces, and destroy the dangers of the village. So later on, when they died because of some calamity or someone killing them, they were erected. Hero stones were erected in memory of these warriors, and that is how Karpanaswamy was created. So this is one thread of a story, okay, according to folklore. Another thread is that, of course, the Ayyappan story, which I just told you, that he was the escort for Swami Ayyappan. And there is one third story, which is in Madurai, called the Padanettam Padi Karpanaswamy. So there is a temple called the Azhar temple in Madurai, Okay, so once a group of 18 magicians, okay, tantric magicians from Kerala had come to grab away the statue of Aragar. Aragar is none other but Lord Vishnu. Okay, as the name suggests, in Tamil, Aragar means beauty. He was so beautiful that he was called Aragar. And these tantric magicians from Kerala tried to take away the statue to Kerala. Okay. So, but they had brought Karpanna Swami also to accompany them. But when Karpanna Swami realized that these tantric magicians were, wrongdoers, they had planned something against the laws, it is said that he killed each of them. And that is how on each of the 18 padi, that is 18 steps of the Aragar Kovil, these magicians were buried. And Karpanna Swami till today stands guard for the Aragar Swami temple, okay, in Arahar Malai in Madurai. So usually you find these INRs, statues of Karpanna Swami and Munishwaran along the village periphery, the boundary of these villages, and it is said that they stand guard and prevent evil forces, dangerous, evil spirits, dangers from, attacking the village. Okay, and Munishwaran is more prevalent in Karnataka. If you see, there are a lot of Munishwaran temples. So he looks similar to sage Agastya. He sports a beard and a big, bun on top of his head, and he looks more like a sage. And it is said that the origin of Munishwaran is during the yagya of Daksha, when Daksha was the father of Sati, isn't it, Parvati. So during that period, to destroy the yagya of Daksha, Shiva had created these Sapta Munis. So that is how the head of these Munis was Munishwaran. He is also a creation from Shiva. So, and there is one more protector deity, which is Devi, okay, the Shakti. In various villages, she has different names like Pechi Amman, Parai Amman, Yellai Amman. So different forms of these Shaktis. And there are, the most interesting thing about this is in each of the villages, they will have a separate folklore story thread that runs, and none of them will be the same. They will have different varieties of stories for each of these goddesses or Karpanna Swami. Each village will have a Karpanna Swami by a different name. So, for example, there is this Katavarayan, Kataviran, Madurai Veeran. Yes, the Madurai Veeran is nothing but a hero stone. Okay, he was a great warrior. He is celebrated as a Karpanna Swami in the temple in Madurai. And the similar thing holds good in the Kongu belt, where there is this god called, there is this village called Veerapur, where there were two warriors called Chinnannan and Periyannan. They were two mighty Kshatriya Kongu warriors who fought and battled and prevented dangers for their village. And a temple has been erected. It's nothing but a hero stone. So they celebrate this annual festival called the Chinnannan Periyannan festival. Okay, so these were some of the beautiful stories I wanted to share with you. And you know what? The beauty of this is each of these story, though the origin is common, that INR is from Shiva and Vishnu, but each of these INRs will have a separate name in different villages. The Karpanna Swamis will have separate names. The Ammans will have separate names. And they believe there are different folklore. They connect a lot of stories if you visit these temples, okay? So, there is this, yes, I was coming to the Yellai Amman. So Yellamma, as we all know, it was the story of Renuka and Jamadagni. There was a rishi called Jamadagni. His wife Renuka, she was a very chaste woman. So once what happened, she usually went to the river and she filled water in the pot to bring back for cooking. She used to make the pot out of this river sand, okay? She was such a pure woman that, the water, she could hold the water in that mud itself, the river mud. So once what happened, she it is a natural thing, isn't it? Once, while filling the water, she saw a Gandharva, and she was temporarily, attracted. She admired his physical features. And this instantly, Sage Jamadagni realized, and he got so angry with her that he ordered his 5 sons to kill her. But his elder sons did not want to do it, did not want to kill their mother. So the youngest of all, who was sage Parashurama, he obeyed his father and he killed his mother. And this father, Jamadagni, was very pleased with this, and he asked Parashurama to ask him for a boon. And for that, Parashurama said that I would want my mother back to life. And pleased with this, he brought her back to life. And today also, she is revered as a protector goddess who guards her children and the villagers. Okay, so in Karnataka, you will find a lot of Yellama Devi temples everywhere, and a lot of people and institutions or shops bear this name called Yellama enterprises, or in because of their beliefs. Okay, so yes, so these were some of the stories which I wanted to share. And let me tell you one thing, my dear friends, this I have just created a spark. There is a never ending folklore behind, much more to this. Okay, so thank you so much for your patient listening, and all the best for all of us.
Research a lot of their backstory. They tend to forget the time because you have so much in you and you want to share all of it. Could see that, could see your excitement in giving us those small little details everywhere. Are these those big, really huge, colorful ones that I see? Is that what you're talking about? The really big, huge, colorful statues?
Yes, yes,
Ah,
yes, absolutely.
okay.
So
And
you know
Usha,
what? Yeah, until I read about it, or I started doing my research on this. I usually used to pass through these casually, okay, because thinking that okay, the villagers just wanted to feel, colorful or lively in their minds or something. They just created these things. But then when you go into the intricate details of these, that is where you find there is a whole world of things, background happening.
as you say, there's a story for every single village, each one's deities, and yet it's so different from. There are similarities, but they're yet so different. I'll move it on to Usha. Usha has also added some details into the chat, so all of you can read that as well. Yes, Usha.
Sharda, first, wonderful. I know we follow each other on Instagram, and I know you're passionately interested. Now, I know about Grama Devata because I hail from Musri village, from my married family. We have a Grama Devata. Every time we visit, we actually go and pray in that temple.
Oh,
And it is a Dravidian temple, unlike a temple run by Brahmin priests.
yes.
So that was wonderful. And what actually confused me was there were too many of Grama Devata that you included. If you had just left it with Shasta and the Grama Devata would have been, that's my feedback. Instead of confusing, especially I as a South Indian know about. There are many South Indians who don't know about Grama Devata as well. But you're delving into a subject which till date I think nobody has. So that's a very powerful telling, and thank you for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Usha. It means a lot to hear this beautiful feedback from you, and that too, someone who's familiar with the Grama Devatas. I think you know what? Yes, I agree that I covered a lot of these Grama Devata gods, but you know what? I did not want to miss out, or I did not want you to not know about these. It is after this, no, it is left to us to do our own research and find out more. But I wanted to bring out, throw light on these gods, so that I wanted to tell you all in my excitement, I want to share it with you. So that was the only reason why I tried to cover
I
most
think
of them.
clearly your excitement was there, Sharda. All of us could see it. And as you're saying, we could see you scrunching in so much of information into that because You actually wanted each one of us to know. Thank you so
That
much.
was
And if we
palpable. I wish, Sharda, you could do a workshop on this because you could also compare it with the indigenous community who also have a Grama Devata, who have various deities for different, invoking their blessings. So that's it.
I
Go
think
ahead,
Grama
Pratigya.
Devatas across the country, if I'm not wrong, because when I went to Rajasthan 2 weeks ago, I literally went hunting, trying to understand who is the Gram Devata of ours, my in-laws, and the story behind it. We went from one city to another, trying to understand how our name became Haran or Hiran because of the deities. But right now, I might not be a deity, but I am a protector of time. And so,
Yes.
sticking on to that, I am going to move on once again to our next fellow. We have Ramya Iyer.
I just want to add
Yes,
this.
Shraddha, go
See,
ahead. Yes, yes.
you know what? I did not cover the north of India because when I went into it, there is a whole world. So definitely these 20 minutes will not be enough for me. Okay. So that, as Usha was saying, I will schedule a workshop for it separately. And there is 2 hours also is not enough for this.
Surely
So
not. Surely not. Especially with your excitement, surely not.
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
thanks, Sharda. Thanks a lot. Yes. Moving on to our next teller, we have Ramya Iyer joining us from, let me spotlight you, from Bengaluru. She has an interesting braided story for us. I'm not going to say any further. Ramya, it's all yours. Please talk a little bit about yourself and tell us your story.
Thank you so much, Pratigya, and thank you, Sharda, and thank you, Regina. I'm just so happy to be with you all today. I won't speak much about myself. I think it was a very wonderful suggestion that you all posted on the group that I could introduce myself through a message. So I've just posted that. Delighted to be joining you all at this warmest space, Chennai Storytelling Festival, that I wait for every single year. So thank you, Eric, and thank you all of you for making this happen. And now I'll just journey into the story that has called me today. உன் சமையலறையில் நான் உப்பா சக்கரையா நீ படிக்கும் அறையில் நான் கண்களா புத்தகமா. The journey of today's story begins in Bombay. There was once a man who had come seeking work to Bombay from a small village in Tamil Nadu to a really bustling, crowded city of Mumbai. And every day he followed this tradition of going to this small hotel. It was a South Indian hotel, and he would sit there on the same table and eat the same meal every day, which was sambar rice. Sambar is lentil tamarind flavored with vegetables, a curry with rice. And this happened every single day, a rhythm and ritual that he followed. He would sit there and eat. On one particular day, when he was eating his sambar rice with his hands, it was warm and lovely. He looked around and he noticed another person sitting close by. And what was there on his plate looked really tempting. And he kept looking at it. As his food was getting over, he kept looking at that plate. How I wish I could eat that. Do I have space in my stomach? Maybe I'll have to skip tomorrow's meal if I have to have the money for eating another dish now. Oh my God, I don't even know the name of the dish. And as he kept looking at that person, the person was at the end of his meal, and the food that he was eating was actually biryani. And he called out to the waiter, "Suno bhaiya, repeat." He turned to the plate and he said, "Repeat." And at that moment, our friend here, "Oh my God, I know what that dish is called. It is called repeat." And he turned to the waiter instead and he said, "Repeat." And at that moment, the food that landed in front of him was the same sambar rice. Very comforting, something that he looked forward to every day. But he ended up getting the same food. And this is a conversation that I have with my children who are 11 now, my twins, every single day. They will ask me, "Amma, Dal again? Sambar again? Are we really repeating it once more? And now, journeying into a story from Lucknow. Lucknow is a city which is the capital of Uttar Pradesh, one of the most populated states of India. This is a story, the story that comes from Lucknow. And let me take you into the market of Lucknow. It was towards the end of lunchtime. The gullies were filled with so many shops selling street food, really warm kebabs, mouth-watering kulfis, which were really cold ice cream flavored with saffron, and yet at the same time there were people drinking warm cups of chai and celebrating to life. And in one of these gullies, there was a board that read, Nosh Farmaiye, eat with pleasure with Kader Mia. And as we enter into the shop, we meet Sadiq, a young friend, a young boy, who was busy squatting flies over the biryani that his father Kader had made. That was the last bit that was remaining from lunch because it was almost over. And he was peeling boiled potatoes as his father was placing kebab skewers on the angiti, which was the charcoal oven. And as he was peeling these potatoes and looking at his Abu, there were almost 2 kilograms of potato that he needed to peel. And there were many questions playing on his mind. Why does Abu need so many potatoes? Oh my God, when will this be over? These flies, can you not find another place? I'm so curious about how he makes it. Will he tell me what is the secret ingredient in all of his tasty dishes? People come and flock over at Abu's stall. And with all of these questions in his heart, it felt really heavy. But as he was pondering, suddenly, there was somebody that got off from the horse. There was a gentleman who looked really important with a silver achkan, and 2 men following him and accompanying him. He stood there with a lot of pride, and the servant said, "This is Nawab Hassan Ali. He has come to eat here." And the Nawab turned to Kader, Sadiq's father, and said, "Kader Mia, what's the most special dish you have for me today?" Kader turned to him and said, "If you're asking me for the most special dish I make, it is Shahi Urad." Dal? Dal? Just the lentil dal? That is your speciality? How could that be possible? It is the most special dish I make. It has a secret masala. Okay, I was really expecting something tastier, but you can give me a plate. I'm really hungry and I love trying new dishes. I can give you the kebabs, I can give you the biryani, but you'll need to wait for the Shahi Urad dal. It's going to take time. I can't prepare it. I make it to order. And if you want to, you can come tomorrow and I will prepare it for you. Apu, what are you doing? Apu, just say yes. Apu, was what was playing in Sadiq's mind. The Nawab turned to him. Okay, fine. Tomorrow, my Haveli is not very far from here. Please send the dal across. No, Huzur, you'll need to come here for lunch. And please be on time. Be on time? Yes, Huzur. It needs to be it needs to be eaten warm. And what will you do if I don't come on time? I will just give it away, Huzur. Okay. Said the Nawab and walked away. Nawabs are the viceroys. In fact, Lucknow is a city of Nawabs, it's called. He walked away with his servants and he was really, really upset and displeased. But his temptation to eat the most special thing really got to him and he really needed to come the next day. Meanwhile, thank God, at least the promise has been made. It'll be so amazing if the Nawab of this place likes Abbu's food. It'll be so wonderful for all of us, thought Sadiq, and got back to what he was doing. And one more thing, while the Nawab and the servants were going, the servant looked at Sadiq and said, "Be ready. He will give you some wonderful rewards if you are able to really please him." Okay, I'll tell Abbu, said Sadiq. And when everything, all the work was settled for that day, that evening, Sadiq and his Abbu, Kadir, set out to go to the market. And as they were walking, Sadiq thought of how afraid he felt of his Abbu. And he was so scared when the Nawab was talking to his father. His hands were feeling sweaty as he held his father's hand. Why is everybody afraid of Abbu? And why? Why do I feel afraid too? And as these questions were pondering on his mind, they reached the market and they collected a lot of things. They purchased a lot of things that they needed for next day's Shahi Urad Dal. Some potatoes, cumins, cloves, mint and coriander for the chutney, ghee, butter to season it, lots of onions, basmati rice, everything, and of course the lentil that needed to be soaked for the dal to be made. All of that was being gathered when at that moment suddenly the servant appeared again. "Adab, Kadir Mia." "Adab," said the father. "Adab, adab," said Sadiq. He was really excited to see the Nawab's servant yet again. "So, are you preparing for tomorrow for the Nawab? He's waiting to come and eat the Shahi Urad that you're going to make." Yes, Abbu has got everything. We are really looking forward to it." Meanwhile, Kadir kept quiet. He was not a person who spoke much. "You know what happened one day? Last time in Aminabad, our Nawab was so happy with the food, the pasanda and the pulao that the chef had made, that he gave him one big shop in the market Hazratganj area." "Really? And yet another time, there was a chef who was rewarded a gold necklace." "Oh, it'll be so amazing if Abbu could get a shop too," thought Sadiq. He said bye. He waved his goodbye to the servant and they parted ways, and Sadiq and Abbu came back home. The day ended. The next morning, Sadiq was helping his Abbu prepare the Shahi Urad Dal, and of course it was not just that. They also made some biryani. They made these soft meat kakuri kebabs. There was also mint chutney, which was cold, green, fresh, with a little bit of cucumber raita, a yogurt dish. Everything was being laid out for the Nawab. And when everything was ready, the beautiful aroma of the saffron and the ghee, the garam masala in the dal, and the scent of garlic was filling the air of the shop there. And Kadir called out to his son and Sadiq, "Can you please go and call the Nawab?" And Sadiq was waiting for that moment, and he went running out of this gully, finished the area of Hazratganj, and reached to the place where the Havelis were, climbed up the stairs, and reached the home of the Nawab. And the servant said, "You'll need to go to the rooftop. The Nawab there is flying kites with his friends." Flying kites! It's lunchtime. He needs to come and eat. Abbu's waiting. Abbu will give away the food, thought Sadiq. He went up another round of stairs and he reached the rooftop. And the Nawab was flying kites with his friend. And he went to the Nawab and said, Nawabji, adab, the food, the dal is ready." "What dal? What food? Can't you see I'm busy flying kites with my friend?" It was a blue and golden kite, and Sadiq turned to look at the kite as his friends were cheering him on. There was a tough fight between a blue and golden kite and a green kite in the air. Sadiq's heart was beating really fast. He needed this to happen. He wanted his Abu to get a gift, a reward from Nawab Hassan Ali. He said, please. And the friends just sent Sadiq away. Sadiq chose to go home and not to where Abu was. He reached home and he started thinking about what he could do. When he stepped out of the house and he could see the kites in the distance, and he knew whose kite it was, the green kite. It was Aman's, my friend Aman. And so he ran back again and he reached his friend Aman's house, and he climbed up again to the rooftop where Aman was flying the kite and said, Aman, you need to do me a favor. Please tell me, said his friend. You see that blue and golden kite? I'll tell you the whole story later, but can you please cut it for me? Please do that for me. That's very easy, he said. I was just having fun. And he did this move. And at that moment, the Nawab's kite broke. He said bye to Aman and went running back. Panting and puffing, he reached the Nawab's Haveli. And this time he knew where to find him, and he did not ask anybody, and he dashed. And he went up to the rooftop and he went to the Nawab, who looked really disappointed. He went and he said, Adab Huzur, Adab, you must be really hungry. Abu's Shahi Urad Dal is waiting. Please come. Oh yes, I remember now, and I'm feeling very hungry too. I will take you myself. And he felt really proud and honored to be walking with the Nawab of the town. And they got down the stairs, and the Nawab sat on the horse, and they all walked behind him. And they reached Kadir Mia's shop, Abu's shop. The food was all laid out on the carpet. Mouth was watering for the Nawab. He sat down and he did not know what to begin with. There was just such amazing, delicious food. But as he sat down, he took some rice, he poured some of the Shahi Urad Dal, and he put it in his mouth. And you were right, Kadir Mia. I've never eaten dal like this before. And as he went on eating, he also took some raita, he ate the kebabs, and he was eating his heart full. And Sadiq felt a flutter. His heart was feeling so happy to see the Nawab's face. And just when his first serving was over, he turned to Kadir Mia and said, can you give it once more? Can you repeat? And the food came back to his plate. The basmati rice and the Shahi Urad Dal was poured for the Nawab. The Nawab felt really happy, and he turned to Kadir and said, Kadir Mia, how can I reward you? And Kadir smiled, and Sadiq looked at his Abu smile. He had never seen his Abu smile before. He saw Kadir smile. Huzur, I would like a bigger shop near the Imam Bara if it's possible. The Nawab turned to his servant, and with his gesture, the servant handed over a bag of gold to Kadir Mia. I think this should be sufficient for you, for your new shop. Kadir said thank you, and the meal was over, and the Nawab and his servants left. Sadiq helped his father clear the spread. He was really happy. He knew that evening he would tell his father about what he had done for making this happen, and maybe Abu would forgive me. I don't think I think he'll be okay with me, and maybe if he's really pleased, he'll also give me a mohar, a gold coin, thought Sadiq. And after so many days, he felt his heart light, free of the questions and free of the fear, as light as Aman's kite. Oh, yes, I have to tell Aman the whole story. And of course, I'm going to share this mohar with him. We will treat ourselves to delicious kulfi and faluda and what not. Dreamed Sadiq. He smiled and smiled and smiled. Thank you so much for listening to this story. It's the story that I said in the beginning was a story that my father would tell very often. And he went from Tamil Nadu to Mumbai, and like they say, personal stories are very often mythic, and mythical stories are so much more personal. And I feel I never asked him, but it could have very well been his story. I can't ask him this, but I don't know. And this week, there was another story that I had told Eric I'll tell, but somehow there was a picture of my father and his hands, and I thought of the most ordinary food in our house. It was called vetta korumbu and rice, and Appa would take one big vessel, put rice in it, put vetta korumbu, dollops of ghee, mix it, and feed the three of us, me and my siblings. And the taste of that rice with his fingers still lingers. And I started thinking about the people in our life, and dal is supposed to be that most ordinary everyday meal that my children would be like, Amma, yet again. But I really thought of the delight that the dal brings. In fact, this is the story that I told later from Lucknow is from this book, Modern Indian Stories. It's called Dal Delight, written by Subhadra Sen Gupta, a very wonderful, well-known author whom unfortunately we lost during COVID. Deep gratitude to her too. Just grateful to the story, and I'm just going to express thank you to all the dal delights in my life, and I'll close. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramya. You've got us all hungry early on today. In fact, I started nibbling on my grapes. And I need to go Google the Shahi Urad Dal.
I have a picture. Can I share? Have you?
Yes, you are the
Yeah,
co-host.
very
You should be able
quickly.
to.
Yeah, very quickly. I don't know if 1 second. I'm gonna just make it full screen, and then it'll be easier to see. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. So this is a picture that I could find of black lentil. And this is something I've had a slightly busy weekend, but I hope to cook it for my children so that my daughter doesn't go dal yet again. And I could maybe make a royal Shahi Urat, and yeah.
Yes, and as I said, you've really made me hungry. I want to have urad dal and bati now. I need to go to mom's place and tell her, Mama, please make some dal bati.
Yeah.
Uh, Lovely story, and I love the way you began with the initial braiding of, and I strongly feel it is your dad's story. Somehow,
Yeah. I want to
uh,
just think of
I,
it like that.
I,
Yeah.
I do think it must be his, yes. And yes, you want to open it out to the audience, you want to discuss
Yes.
and share the story further.
Yes, sure. I just wanted to close with one thing about how initially I think when Appa would tell me the story, I would be really upset. And so, poor guy. And that happened with me when I told my children too. But now I feel that some of these really repeated dishes, the things that I make very often or get to eat very often, I really look forward to them, the rhythm and the comfort of those food. So maybe, I experienced that change in me, and I'll close it to that. And I think. Is there any are there any connections, any images that stayed with anybody? Please do share. It would be lovely to listen to you. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah.
Yes, just feel forward to unmute
Yes,
yourself.
yes,
Yes,
Hema.
Hema, please go
Yes,
ahead.
Hema.
The image of Sadiq running up to the
Yeah.
Nawab, and how he the anxiety that he feels
Yeah.
when he sees him flying the kite, and then how he runs to his friend and gets him to cut the kite, and coming back and praying that the Nawab comes and takes
Yeah.
him. The imagery was amazing. The movie,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
beautifully created. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for this heartwarming story. It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
thank you. Thank you so much, Hema. Yeah. My heart was going out for Sadiq. Yes. Yes, Sudhir.
Hey, thank you. Wonderful story, Ramya. And I stay in Delhi, but I come from Lucknow, so I was
Oh.
immediately able to connect what you were telling. And you made, as Pratigya was mentioning, you made us hungry, and as if we are like craving for urad dal now. And then you showed the picture as well, so it made us more hungry. But having said that, beautiful storytelling. And even the first one as well. I mean, I was with you when the person was saying repeat,
Yeah.
and instead of biryani, the sambar rice came in. So awesome. Very well done, Ramya. God bless
Thank
you.
you so much. I would love to speak to you about Lucknow someday. I want to travel one day to Lucknow now.
For
Thank you.
sure. You're most welcome, and I'm happy to host you and the family. So you're most welcome with the family.
How precious. Thank you so much. Yeah, Shri?
Yeah, sorry, I can't switch on my camera, but every image was so heartwarming. And when the first time he sees his father's smile, also will stay with me when Sadik sees his father's smile, and the friendship between him and Aman and everything. In the first tale also, it was a smile about repeat about the biryani and all that. And when you travel to Lucknow, I want to come along with you. Let's do it together.
Chalo
Love
chale.
you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Deeply grateful for all of your reflections and presence.
I think one more thing that comes to my mind is the kind of friendship that Aman and Sadiq have.
Yeah.
Hey, do this for me. Yeah, I'll do it. There's no question. I will
Yes,
tell the
yes.
story later, and that's
Yeah.
that's literally irrelevant. My friend tells
Yeah.
me to do something, I'll do it.
Yes,
So
yes.
I love that part as well. Very beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Thank you so much.
Any reason why you chose this particular story, Ramya?
I think this week we were talking about, Appa, the three of us, and we were talking about the food he'd feed us. And I think, and that's how, in fact, I wrote to Divya, I said, somehow, I'm not able to tell the story I'd planned, but this feels much more real. And, and that's how the whole food and the people in our life who feel like comfort, like the dal, like the repeated food, and that's how I reached here. Thank you so much, yeah, for asking.
That's a very thoughtful one. I like the way you put across saying how some people are we are more comfortable with just as our comfort food. I love
Yeah,
that analogy that you
yeah,
draw there.
yeah.
I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah, when I reached when I was journeying with the story, I thought of the people who feel like dal delights in my life, so just grateful. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you once again for that very calm and peaceful telling that is so you. Love the story, and I'm glad that you had that conversation with your siblings, and this is the story you chose to tell at the festival. Thanks once again, Ramya. Thank you. And now we have our next teller joining us from, let me see, Shalini is joining us from Mumbai again. And Shalini, I remember your grandma's story from last year. She's still in my heart, and I think I remember the meaty roti, the sugar and the roti.
Sugar
Yes,
filled roti, yes.
yes.
Thank
And
you.
this time, I think you're sharing a self-authored story. So
Yes.
looking forward to that. Tell a little bit about yourself and share your story with us.
So, without taking too much time, hello to everybody from wherever in the world that you have joined in. A big thank you to Dr. Eric Miller for creating this beautiful platform week after week where stories are being exchanged. In the crazy times that we are in, I just guess this is a bit of relief that we can listen to stories and enjoy. To Pratigya, Divya, to Shital, to everybody, to Ambu for hosting these sessions. Diligently, religiously, you guys are just here. Just like Ramya has done, I'm going to go ahead and just post whatever I have to about myself in the chat box. I've been narrating stories for the last 6 odd years. I've been a part of the Mumbai Storytellers Society, organized festivals with them under the able leadership of Usha Venkatraman. I have a 20-year-old media career, and I love weaving stories with performing arts, dance, music, and I love bird photography. So, on that note, now that I have finished that part of it, let me get on to the story that I have written. It's titled Greenu. I wrote it a few years ago and I have tweaked it a bit to share it with you all today. And I hope you all like it. Sneha came running into the room, clutching a parcel, the contents of which were going to surely delight her. She carefully unpacked the box, and there was the set of gorgeous stationery, colorful papers with matching envelopes. Yes, a brand new and beautiful letter writing set. Sneha loved writing letters, and she loved sending them away to friends and family, acquaintances new and old. Why, sometimes she wrote letters to herself too. Those vivid colors, the blazing red, the cool blue, the lovely ivory, the simmering orange, the smiling yellow, the flashy pink. And in the midst of all these bright and beautiful colors, a rather nice but dull green. A little rough, simple, not smooth or bright like the others. Now, these papers are magical. By day, it looked like these papers and envelopes were just carefully stacked. But when the room grew quiet, when the lights were turned off, and when the world stopped watching, something remarkable happened. The papers, they woke up. They whispered across the neat piles that they were in. They checked on each other like old friends do. They could talk to each other, listen to what Sneha said, but no one could listen to them. Sneha placed all of them in an ornate vintage letterbox. Now, that green paper I mentioned, the dull one, well, he had a name, Greenu. And despite his rather ordinary looks, he was the most positive and happy paper you would have ever known. Interestingly, he even had a prayer that he said each night before he went to bed. This is what he said. My name is Greenu. God made me special in some way. I'm going to be of use to someone very soon, someday. Good night, God. Good night, y'all. And so saying, Greenu would go to bed. One night, Red came excitedly to Greenu. Oh, Greenu, Greenu, Red said breathlessly. Sneha wrote on me today. Words of love, phrases of passion. I am smoldering hot now, Greenu. I'm full of hugs and kisses and things you mustn't say out loud. I am a love letter, Red sighed. I miss you and I wish you were here. I hope that I can make the one who receives me smile, feel loved, and feel shy as well. I just came to say bye, Greenu. Bye-bye. And Red was gone. Posted the next day by Sneha. Greenu Felt very happy for her, truly happy. Isn't she lucky? Greenu thought. That night, Greenu said his prayer again with a smile ever so wide. My name is Greenu. God made me special in some way. I'm going to be of use to someone very soon, someday. Good luck, Red. Good night, God. Good night, y'all. Blue came the next evening. I'm going to a friend, Blue said to Greenu in a somewhat serious and somber voice. I'm going to a friend who stood by Sneha when it mattered the most. I'm carrying gratitude, strength, and thanks. Greenu, I could sense Sneha feeling so confident and strong when she wrote on me. And I hope I can share that confidence and warmth with the person who receives me. Just like being enveloped in a hug. I've come to say bye to you, my friend. Bye-bye, Greenu. And so saying, Blue left. Greenu felt something warm stir in his chest too. Another night, Yellow arrived. Greenu, I'm a letter full of hope. You know, Sneha, she has written on me and she will send me to her little niece. She wants her to learn music and dance and be creative. Her niece is rather quiet, and Sneha hopes this letter will encourage her to explore new things and maybe make new friends. I think she will keep reading me a few times over. Don't you think so? Said Yellow smilingly. I just came to say bye to you, Greenu. And Yellow went out into the world. Greenu smiled once again and wished Yellow well. Ivory followed. Shoulders slumped, grim, and in a heavy voice said, Greenu, I'm carrying an apology. The tears that Sneha shed as she wrote on me make me feel heavy. But I hope, Greenu, that healing would follow for the recipient and for Sneha both. I'll be gone tomorrow, my friend, and I just came to say bye. Night after night, letters said goodbye to Greenu and then left the box. Each one was loaded with feelings. Each one was meant to make someone's day softer, lighter, braver, or more hopeful. And each time, as Greenu said bye, he waited, he watched, and he believed. He was truly happy for the others, but slowly, the waiting, it began to ache from within, and loneliness crept in. That night, Greenu's voice trembled as he prayed. My name is Greenu. God made me special in some way. But will I be of use to someone? Soon? Someday? Good night, God. Good night, no one. The box was nearly empty, and only Greenu remained. One evening, Sneha opened the box and picked Greenu up. Greenu felt hope rushing through him, sudden, bright, and terrifying hope. This is it, he thought. Sneha picked him. She turned him over. She ran a finger along the rough edges. She paused on the surface a few times. This paper is strange, too rough, too dull. She shook her head and then crumpled Greenu and threw him away. Useless, she said. I really don't know what to write on it. Greenu lay there, stunned. The word useless echoing in his ears. Useless? He couldn't believe it. All that waiting, all that watching, all that believing was useless? That night, Greenu couldn't bring himself to pray. He tried and finally, when he did say his prayer, his voice broke. My name is Greenu. I am not special in any which way. I'm useless, of no use to anyone. Not today, not on any other day. And Greenu began crying. And as he cried, a gush of wind swept him away. And as if to add salt to his wounds, it began raining. Big drops pelting away at Greenu. Greenu's despair now knew no bounds. Was it not enough that he was useless? Was it not enough that he was thrown away and discarded? And now the rain gods were in agreement as well. The rain was hurting him. Swallowed by sadness, Greenu cried himself to sleep. The next morning, when the sun rose, Greenu woke up and he was surrounded by darkness. Where am I? Why am I surrounded in this darkness? Why do I feel like I'm stuck in squishy, squelchy mud? And what's that? Greenu looked fearfully at something poking out of him. It looked like a worm? No. A thread? No. Wait a minute. This looked like a baby root. Very soon thereafter, some more roots and some more roots began growing all around him and through him. Plum, 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 plum. Tender, soft, green leaves. There were leaves growing too. Greenu felt like he was in the midst of some magic spell. He was sprouting leaves and roots, and in no time he shot up, tearing through the mud towards the bright sun and the blue sky, tall and strong. You see, unknown to his own self, Greenu was seeded handmade paper. And that's exactly what made him dull and rough. and when Greenu was thrown into the mud, and then when rain fell on him, those beautiful seeds sprouted. That night, when Greenu was about to rest, he smiled once again and said this prayer. My name is Greenu. God made me special in every which way. I am going to be of use to everyone, not just someday, but on every single day. Today, Greenu is a large blossoming tree. His branches hold birds that rest between artist journeys. His leaves whisper comfort on tired afternoons. His shade gathers people who need to pause and rest. And you can hear old friends laughing under him, children giggling and playing around him. And every night, as the world goes to sleep, and when the soft darkness falls, Greenu still prays, not in hope anymore, but in eternal gratitude. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, Shalini. Love that story. The way you've written it, the way you've told it. We could see each one of those expressions, the love, the anxiety, the confidence, and the journey that Greenu went through. Thank you so much. So beautifully written.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pratigya. Wow. I know this is not a folk tale, and I know this is a rather simple story. But to me, it was important that in where I work, essentially, I've been seeing a lot of people, young kids in their 20s. The comparison in today's day and time is so constant. The requirement of instant gratification is so constant in them that they tend to get dejected very, very, very quickly. And in some way or form, I just wanted them to feel that it's just a matter of time, the right place. Find your purpose. Once you find your purpose, you will find success and you will find what is meant for you. So yeah, that's the reason I wrote this story. And I also wanted to express my love for writing letters. The previous story that I had written was actually more for kids. And it's again about little kids comparing what they can do with this piece of paper, and Greenu sadly not finding any purpose. But it's a matter of patience, it's a matter of time. And like I said, in today's day and time, I just wish everybody has some spiritual belief. Good times will come, but you have to go through strife. You have to go through disappointment sometimes. You have to go through an entire journey before you find your calling. So that's the reason I thought I would share this letter today, share the story today with everybody. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Lovely. Hema, you want to go ahead? I can see your hand is raised.
Shalini, as usual, I've heard the story before from you, but every time I hear it, it's amazing and always makes me feel what are the things that you have bought in this story? One is that, how being useless is is just a temporary phase. You always, like you rightly said, when you find your purpose and you really figure out where you are going and if success follows. And also the way you put the letters in, the love, the expressions of love, the expressions of gratitude, the expressions of encouragement, and apology, which are the most important things that we humans have to share with each other. And you brought it so beautifully with the different letters that you put across, the colors of the letters, and the colors also match so beautifully. Such a visual and such a beautifully well written, well crafted story, Shalini. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
What I also wanted to say is Sneha is so, I mean, she's just like all of us, right? When it comes to clear emotions, you can express them very easily. But when you're challenged with something that's a little more complex, that you don't understand, you initially tend to reject it. You don't want to be patient and you don't want to take that communication forward. It's very easy to do that. So hopefully, yeah, a little emotional maturity there would have probably helped her make use of Greenu better. Maybe. I don't know. So yes, that was the story of hope that I wish to share. Ramya, you raised your
Yes,
hand.
yes,
Thank you.
Shalini. It was such a joy yet again to listen to you, Shalini. It was really wonderful to listen to your story, and I could so resonate with it. This deep yearning for purpose that we all feel connected to, and I think what also struck me was how the words may have changed, but every single day she sort of spoke to herself, and that prayer, that talking to self. I think that really stayed with me. That doing that every day. Yeah, the emotion, the words may have changed, but I think that really will stay with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramya. Yes.
A quick word from me, Shalini. I've heard the story like Hema said, but this telling was something special. And I just wanted to add about purpose driven storytelling. While a war is raging next door in the Arabian Sea, I would like the world leaders to listen to the stories that are being told, especially about purpose. And, Yudhishthira, after being exiled, asks Markandeya, the great sage, what is my purpose? What is karma? What is righteousness? So that's a beautiful story which I'm going to tell in my workshop, Learning from the Epics, about purpose and righteousness. So thank you yet again for this story.
Thank
And purpose is something that not everyone will find. It takes years. Sometimes it comes overnight, but then it's a process.
Yes.
So thank you for
Time, right
that.
place. Thank you, Usha. Means a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank,
everyone.
thanks, Usha. Thank you, Shalini, for that wonderful story. Purpose. Purpose is something that our next storyteller has very well found in his life. We have Sudhir Pathak joining us from. Are you in Delhi today, Sudhir?
Yes, Pratik, I'm in Delhi today.
Right. So, Sudhir, over to you. Tell us about yourself and share your story with us.
Pratik, I'll also be requiring co-host rights because in the end, I would like to present something as a part
We'll,
of conclusion.
sure, we'll arrange for that.
Perfect. Thank you
Please
very
go.
much. And some really great storytellers. I mean, I listened to them before, so it's absolutely awesome. And for me, it's a lot of learning. I'm possibly not as expert as you all are, but it's a great learning. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, it's just a quick introduction. I'm Sudhir Pathak, and I basically work on resilience. I'm a resilience expert, and I'm an author as well. I have just written a book on resilience itself, and I'm a professional speaker. I'm a global keynote speaker, and I'm also an artificial intelligence leader with IBM. So I do too many things. I think pretty diversified. So my story is title is 5 to 550, and it's a personal story. 26th February 2005 it was. I was sitting in a bed watching outside the window and thinking, why me? It was a lingering question troubling me, but I was not able to get the answer. Why me? And it was not a It was not an ordinary bed. It was a hospital bed. And just a couple of days ago, Dr. Juneja had reviewed my reports and told me, Sudhir, both of your kidneys have failed and you have to get admitted to hospital as soon as possible. I was not knowing what exactly does it mean. I was just 25 then, not knowing what exactly does kidney failure mean. I was still thinking, introspecting, what is the impact of this? And then he threw another shock. He said, you cannot survive on both on your kidneys because they are no longer working. So you have to get admitted to hospital, and on a longer run, you have to find a donor, or on a shorter run, you have to get onto dialysis. And that totally shook me away. I was not able to think. I just came out of my post-graduation and I was hunting for a job. I was looking for a job. But that hunt had now changed the direction. Now the hunt was to look for a suitable donor. When I came out of college, I had big plans. After all, I was a proud son of my parents. But then now, life had bigger plans for me. I carried all those thoughts, and with those thoughts, I traveled back home. Distance from hospital to my home was hardly few kilometers, but that was possibly the longest journey I ever traveled. Thinking, introspecting, trying to bring courage that how will I be telling this to my parents? I reached back home, told the same thing to my parents. My mother started crying immediately, ran away to a different room. My father shook his head, but put a hand on my shoulders and said, it will be all right. And as I looked upwards, tears were trickling down from his eyes as well. It was tough to digest for all of us. After a couple of days, I got admitted to hospital. And from that day onward, a 7 years long ordeal started. Dialysis started. Dialysis, for the people who do not know, doctors used to prick 2 needles, the big needles, onto my left hand, one to the artery and to the vein. And then it used to filter out all the blood from my body. It used to take it out, filter it out, then push it back in. But it was not only the blood which was getting filtered. It was all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients coming out and getting flushed. So after 4 hours, it was a tiresome, weak, and lethargic person emerging out. So, and this was happening 3 times in a week, 4 hours for each of the procedure. That was the duration, that was the phase that I was losing all the hopes in the life. There was no passion, there was no energy, there was no purpose to live. I had nothing to do. And I was very clearly visualizing it, that sooner I'll be going to die in this hospital bed, in this dialysis bed. My loved ones started leaving me. There were not much support. Financially, I was very weak. I managed to get a job, but that too was just taking care of my treatment expenses. And that was I. I was just being dragged on with no control on myself. This continued for 3.5 years. But one fine evening, while I was returning from dialysis, I was standing on a bus stop and I saw a bunch of young men, pretty much of my age. They were laughing, giggling, enjoying life. They were mimicking They were mimicking some movie scenes, and I understood, oh, they were coming out of a movie. And I had a smile on my face, but deep inside, I was not happy. I carried that image and went back home. I went to sleep, was not able to sleep. Those images were fresh on my head. At 4 a.m., I rushed back to my balcony. It was very quiet. There was no one around, and it was very pleasant at that time. I was still with those thoughts. I was about to cry. And then a voice entered in my ear and said, you can be of one of those guys. You just cannot give it up like this. Live your life. I just took it as a shock. I turned around. There was no one, and it was absolutely silent. The voice was very clear to my ears, but I didn't find anyone. But I carried that voice within me. I carried those words within me. And from next day onwards, I carried it along. The circumstances were still the same. I was still barely managing my job. I was still on 3 days a week dialysis for 4 hours each day. It was the difficulties were still the same. But I think the perspective had changed now. I started pushing myself a bit. I started finding ways to be slightly more happier. The mindset took a shift. And that day onwards, I started doing very small things. I started being more grateful for the people who were still with me. I forgave people who left me because they were right on their part. I started finding a little bit of passion in my life. But gradually, I started building this belief that I wanted to make my story bigger than myself. And on that hunt, I found a little bit of purpose in life. I was 4 years experienced in the dialysis center now. I saw new people, new patients coming in to the dialysis center. They were traumatized. They were fearful. And I started to approach them. I started talking to them. I started helping them. I started listening to them. I told them my stories. I was young, so they were inspired, but I was experienced. I had 4 years of experience. So I started sharing my stories. How can they still live life? And that started to ignite life in them. That brought a purpose in me. I was happy to see them happy now, and it helped them a lot. But more than them, it helped me a lot because that purpose brought a passion in me. It brought a belief in me to such an extent that when I was finding donors or not finding anyone, I was not giving up now. Unknowingly, a resilience was getting built. I was not knowing this word then. And this purpose took me away to 2011, November 21st, when a new kidney got placed in my stomach, old kidneys were replaced, and a new lease of life came within me. 3 months of recovery gave me a chance to introspect, gave me a chance to be more purposeful. But when I rejoined, I was not finding the purpose. That little purpose was left in the dialysis room itself. Now I had no purpose. I was in hunt again for that purpose. The hunt was on, but something was not getting connected to me. 2015, I, along with my wife, moved to Pune, India. It's a beautiful city. We started living, and one of the fine evenings, we were in a cake shop ordering few pastries. We saw a family. They were asking their two daughters which flavor of the pastry they want to have. They both told them. They happily ordered. We saw that. We turned around and we saw two little young girls peeping from that glass of the cake shop. We stepped outside. We asked them, "Do you want to eat cake?" They said, "Yes." We went inside, bought two cakes, gave it to them, and the smile on their face, I'll never ever forget. It was a true joy. And that evening, I came back home. I discussed with my wife, can't we do something for these kids? What can we do for these little kids who want to live a life like our own kids? That ignited the purpose again. Somebody invited me to give a talk on my story in one of the NGOs after a few months. I carried that thought along with me. I was looking for the place now. After my talk, I asked the coordinator in that NGO, Rashmitai, can I borrow your place to start my center? I want to feed kids and I want to teach them. Rashmi did not only agree, she said that I want to collaborate with you. And from that point onwards, 2018, we started our first center with just 5 kids. Our first motivation or our first purpose to bring them on was, or rather encouragement was, to give them nutritious food. We brought them in, those 5 little kids, to our centers, and those 5 kids were no ordinary kids. They were getting domestically violenced. Their parents were drug addicts at times. So it was not easy to bring them on. But we put a lot of effort. With those 5 kids, we started our journey. We convinced more parents and gradually it started bringing up to such a state that by 2019, end of 2019, we had around 100 kids in one of our centers. We were very happy. We were teaching them, we were feeding them, we were taking care of their social well-being, with only one intention, that they should always be treated like our own kids. But then came 2020, the COVID, and it took everything away from us. The center became vacant again, no kids to come. We were all homebound. Nothing was happening. But there was the power of purpose to such an extent that it had made me resilient enough to carry the team along and wait for the right opportunity to start again. When the COVID subsided, when we started again, we were at 0, but our energy level was at 200%. We knew what we need to do. We had done it before. We were resilient enough in the toughest of the phases. We started again. Again, we brought in kids. Again, the convincing was difficult. This time, we collaborated with a few other organizations to get more food and get good teachers. It again started from one kid. It gradually increased. It took time. It took time to reach from 1 to 50. But today, in 2026, with that purposeful journey, we have moved from one kid to 500 kids across 4 centers in Pune. The intention is still the same. We are teaching them, we are feeding them, we are taking care of their well-being like our own kids. They go to movies, they go to picnics, they go to various functions like our own kids. We give them experiences to make them better. This is the power of purpose. And as I talk about resilience, purpose is the biggest factor to build resilience in your adversities, in your setbacks, in your challenges. Purpose also brings a level of recovery within you. When you are traumatized, when you are in adversities, everyone talks about how do you respond to those adversities, but nobody talks about the recovery. Recovery is very important for you to respond. Your purposeful journeys are those recoveries to make you stable and resilient for your future challenges. I'm very proud today. It's not that the challenges stopped coming, but my purpose has built a belief within me that no matter what, if I am purposeful, I'll be able to sail through. That is the power of purpose. And with this thought, I just want to share you that what exactly my kids have done so far, where they have reached, and how we are taking care of them. I hope I have sharing rights. Let me know once you're able to see.
Yes, we can.
जैसे आँखों की डिबिया में निंदिया और निंदिया में मीठा सा सपना और सपने में मिल जाए फरिश्ता सा कोई जैसे रंगों भरी पिचकारी जैसे तितलियां फूलों की क्यारी जैसे बिना मतलब का प्यारा रिश्ता हो कोई ये तो आशा.
Thank you very much. I cut short the video. It's a long video. And with that, I'll end my story. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sudhir. Such a purposeful journey from 5 to 5:50. It takes a lot to share your personal story, especially when you've been through those struggles. And of course, we're glad that you found a positive note to it at the end. But really appreciate the fact that you're able to share your personal story with us. It's a huge motivation. Yes, opening it up to the audience. Anybody wants to share anything?
Yeah, I was also thinking about how much courage it takes to share about how it began and the hard times and to reaching here, the whole journey. Deeply grateful for your sharing, Sudhir, and best wishes for your journey ahead. Thank you so much for sharing the story and the video as well. Thank you. And I'm also thinking of the whole, like from Regina to here, like so far, I think this whole purpose, just staying with that as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramya.
Sudhir, this is Shalini. I have a friend who's actually waiting for a kidney transplant. And so I can completely understand it's not just what you have achieved, it is the journey that has brought you here. To be able to overcome and then to be able to find your purpose, which is being shared with others and is such a giving way that you have taken your life forward, is truly inspiring. So thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your courage. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Shalini.
Sudhir, what kind of training do you give to these children? Is it the regular education or is it anything else as well? Or?
It's a regular education, plus we do a little bit of yoga and other things, Pratigya, but primarily dominant towards education, because these kids come from a background where they are not very regular to schools, and they are very limited on resources, etc. as well. So that's how we bring them on.
Yeah. And do you shuttle between Singapore and Delhi? Are you in Delhi right now, or what is
I
this?
am mostly in Delhi now, but
Okay.
I do travel, Pratigya. I mean, till 2023, it was more there, less here. 2023 later, it is more here, less there. But I need to travel again, so let's see how I shuffle. But irrespective of that, that the purposeful thing remains. So the team is built now, so I think it's comparatively easier than 2019. But yeah.
Great. Yes, Rupa, please.
Hi, I'm calling from California. It's getting very late, but I wanted to tell you that your story really touched me and your generosity in sharing. It is not easy to share these intimate things about your struggles, especially as a young man. And I really appreciate that. And I hope more people will be brave like you in sharing their stories and also inspiring us with what you did with your situation. You know, it's not easy to come out of something like this and have this very positive and generous outcome. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rupa. And with also, I would, if you permit, Pratigya, I just want to show that I have just written, if I'm able to see, I have just written a book. I have channelized my journey towards resilient leadership now, which after working for like 20 years into the corporates as well, I started understanding that how, this resilience is needed in the leadership aspects as well, wherein the AI is coming and so many other aspects of the things, right? Wherein people don't understand the value of resilience as such, and there are a lot of myths around it, so which I have broken through this book. So just wanted to share. But thank you very much, Rumpa, for acknowledging it and joining it from so far, and that too so late for you. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me.
It takes a lot to be not on the receiving end, but rather on the giving end. Amazing work, Sudhir. Do share the details of your book in the chat here, so then, and also where we can get it from. So those of us who are interested can get a hold of it. Thank you once again for being here and telling us your story. Our next teller today is Mr. Nageswara Rao. He's joining us from Hyderabad. I think he's having some internet issues. Mr. Rao, are you there? Can you hear us? There, you've sorted your video and perfect. Can you unmute yourself? Let me just spotlight you, sir. Mr. Rao is joining us from Hyderabad, and tell a little bit about yourself, sir, and share your story with us.
Yeah. Okay. Namaste. Good afternoon, everybody. All the storytellers and listeners. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Pratigya ma'am. I'm very delighted to join for sharing my story. My name is Nageswara Rao. I'm a teacher. My story is about Dr. Kotesh Rao's story published in a book. So the theme is organ donation. While donating the organ, he showed his true love without expecting anything from the people whom he donated. That is the main purpose of that story. So nowadays, many people are not finding the person, the organs donation, because everybody is selfish. They don't bother about the people who are, how they are struggling and all. Just now we heard the Sudhir sir's story about how he has taken care when he was in problem. He understood the people and he is feeding and taking care of the children. Similarly, this person is a farmer. His name is Adityanath. He finds a place in a couple's home. Their name is Mr. Shiva and Gauri. So once upon a time, there was a happy couple called Shiva and Gauri. They used to live in a city called Vijayawada. It's in Andhra Pradesh. So they live in a big bungalow with all amenities and have a beautiful garden. And they used to enjoy the life with all the servants. The person is a government officer. The wife is a housemaker. Gauri is a housemaker. So their life is going on very well. One day while coming from the shopping, they saw a person at the shopping complex. And he was looking for something here and there. So they noticed that while coming back and boarding the car, they asked him, what are you doing? What happened? Are you in need of something? And they give a food packet to him and talks to him by walking. So he says that my name is Adityanath. I'm a farmer previously. Nowadays, I'm not finding any job because I stopped doing farming. I lost my all family members. Now I am an orphan. No, don't say you are an orphan. You can come with us if you don't have any problem. And because these people are very kind couple, both Gauri and Shiva, So right from that moment, they show their love and affection to him and talk to him and ask him what is the story behind his. So without any doubt, they take him in the car to their home, Bangla, and they observe him, what all the work he does. And first work they gave him is gardening. So slowly the months and years goes, they observe him very keenly, especially Gauri madam. He saw him very affectionate and while doing the work and takes care of the other workers, does the shopping for the family and brings the daughter, the only daughter they have. Her name is Kushbu. And she calls him as grandpa and he goes well, gel with everybody. So when the servants are not happy, he calls them aside and say that madam is very good. Though she is shouting at you, she's very kind-hearted. Only she does like this. And he suppresses their feelings. And sometimes if he has the money, he gives them and asks them to continue in their job, not to leave. So this is how the story goes. One day what happens, the their daughter, Gauri's daughter, Gauri and Shiva's daughter, Kushbu, comes from the school and goes to the garden while he was working and says, Grandpa, what are you doing? And he says something, what is the work he's going on doing? That was observed by the mother, and she thinks that though she believes very well, she thinks that it is not safe that my daughter should go to the people like this. And she calls her back and she stops that. So he feels very bad. However, he knows the nature of the person. So he continues his work and goes. They give a separate room for him and provide food, pay food, and also pay some salary to him. There was a dhobi for the people. He takes care of washing clothes and ironing and things. He also feels the same matter. Like the madam is shouting at me, she's not believing me. Same, he calls them and solves the problem. This is how the days goes on. One day, Gauri falls sick. She goes to the hospital with her husband. Her husband's close friend was a doctor. His name is Mr. Ishwar. He says that she has some problem, but it will not be revealed to the both family members. He calls his close friend aside and tells the problem. So slowly he gives medication. She comes out of the problem, but it is not permanent. So this was shared that she has some liver problem to the close friend Shiva. But she doesn't know what is her problem. She feels pain and all. This man, one day while working, she scolds him and sends him out. After working for 6, 7 long years in the same family, she shouts at him and sends him out of the home. A small reason, simple reason. This man feels very bad. Why did you send him out? He's working very well and taking care of all of us in the family, including the servants and all our three of us. So she won't give any reply to that person. Later, this man goes to the doctor and he asks for a job. He provides a small petty job for him and he lives there, some other place. But he came to know the condition of the madam. His feelings goes very bad. What is the actual problem? He come to know that it is the problem of liver. So he decides in the mind, without knowing me, they have taken to their home and they provided me job and gave food and taken much care of me, though I am not having any family people in. But they treated him as a family member all these days. he decided to donate his organ, and he talks to the doctor personally and says, "Sir, I am very happy to donate my liver to Madam Gauri, my mistress. And not only that liver, any other organ which is useful from my body to other people who need, like kidney, eyes, and other organs which are useful." So this is how he promises, and he informs to his Shiva sir through his friend doctor. And finally, they decide, and he donates the organ to him. So doctor completes the process, operation, while doing the medication, and the operation was successful, and they live happily. Slowly, madam comes to know about this, who donated, and all this purpose, what happened behind all this. And she feels very bad because without dying, the man cannot donate. And she realizes her mistake. She feels very, very sad about it. And that was revealed by husband, all the details, with all the details from the doctor and daughter and all the family members. Then everybody says, "Ma'am, so he was very good, but you have sent him out. Dhobi and servant, all the people in that who working for them, and neighbors, whoever. So this is how he donates his organs, and he lives in their hearts of every people. Nowadays, you are seeing the people are having some problems, especially like one eye or no eyes at all, some other organs. Recently, 2 months baby or 2-year baby donated her all organs with the consent of father, mother, because she was in coma. You heard about that in the recent news. This story was written long ago. It's a real story, what he personally experienced by Dr. Koteshwar Rao. He was a doctor by profession and also write stories. This inspired me to share with you all. I hope you all liked it. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity, Dr. Eric, and all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that story on generosity, really. And as Ramya was saying, yet another story on where someone found a purpose for their life which was much larger than their own life. Amazing, amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Did you read it recently, sir? Where did you read this story you said?
2 years back, ma'am.
2 years ago. Okay. And the story stayed with you. It's a powerful story, of
Many
course.
things in my mind. Though I join every Monday, every month, Monday, but I didn't share this. So
Okay.
recently, the festival, no, from COVID onwards, Dr. Eric has given me opportunity every year once or twice
Yes.
to join in the
Yes.
fest. So that's how I was very happy to join the Chennai Story Fest. Only I am looking for the training programs so that I can do justice for the storytelling. That is
There
what my
are
feeling.
there were a lot of workshops happening, and there will be more during the festival. I hope you've found the time to catch on a few of them. I know you're a teacher, so it must be challenging for you to find the time, anyways.
Correct, ma'am. Now I can join. I'm willing to join. If
Okay.
possible, I'll come. I'll stay in Chennai itself.
That'll be wonderful. Yes. And yes, as you were saying, from the story of the generous person in your story, we also have a very generous Eric Miller, Dr. Eric Miller, who not only brings this festival together year after year, but he just doesn't know to say no. Anybody reaches out to him and tells them, "I want to do a workshop, I want to do a story," he will find a way to slot you somewhere. And that's how this year, how it's not just February, but the festival's gone into March as well, 2 weekends of March now. That's the kind of generosity that we have from Eric. Thank you so much once again for this, Eric. Yes, Ramya, I can see your hand is raised. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you
Not only
so much.
that, ma'am, excuse me.
Yes, yes.
Not only that, he is a advisor for the CBSE also, CBSE Chennai. Hope you know all that. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
No. Thank you so much, Mr. Rao, for sharing your story. And I know you mentioned about training, but I wanted to say that yes, I think training is wonderful, learning is endless. But I think you spoke with a lot of heart, and deeply grateful that you were able to share here. And I'm with you, Pratigya, on Eric. Holding space for the festival and for all of us to be able to just come and share and listen to each other. It's a gift. And I'm glad he now has you all are all together. But thank you, Mr. Rao. And when you were telling the story, even I was reminded of that child from Kerala from last week. And I've been really, my heart has been really with the family there who decided to take such a big step, I would say. Yeah. Thank you so much for your story. Yeah.
Welcome, ma'am. They live
Thank you,
forever.
Pratigya. Yeah.
When they
Yeah.
donate, they live forever in the hearts of everybody, whoever takes the donation.
Yes.
So true.
And yes, we are bang on time. So, with that, we'll wrap up today's session. Thank you, everybody, for joining in, for sharing your stories, for sharing your reflections, and we'll meet you again soon in the next session. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Eric.
Wonderful
Thank you.
storytelling. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Deep gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.